Big news to go over today is the Toronto Blue Jays have made a sneaky good signing. And following the signing of Max Scherzer, they have made a move behind the scenes that fans aren't talking about. And this player possesses a very unique skill set that is going to have fans fired up. We're going to break down this sneaky signing and discuss what it means going forward. But not only that, we have some more updates surrounding Max Scherzer and how the signing keeps getting better and better following some comments from John Schneider and some new reports. We also have a ton of other things to go over today, including some MLB salary cap and salary floor news. And finally, the spring training game yesterday, a few things to dive into from that game. Before we get into it all, very quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. You guys are an absolute beast with the support, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive into it. And no one's really talking about this signing like at all. It's went very much so under the radar here. And you've probably never heard of this guy before. I haven't. But per the Blue Jays transaction log, the Blue Jays have signed outfielder Matthew Valley to a minor league deal. He spent the last 2 years with Trois-Rivières. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. I know it's in Quebec. Posted an 841 OPS last year with 19 doubles and 41 RBIs across 361 games in the Frontier League, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe is in Quebec. So this is a very unique signing because he has a skill set that is not only insane, and you're about to see what I'm talking about, but it snuck under the radar. Now, obviously, it's a minor league deal, but this isn't a young player. This is a guy who is going to be entering his mid-20s next season and is actually going to be fighting for a spot on this team. And it's an outfield. He's an outfielder. Let's dive into his stats here. Now, again, last year in his age 24 season, he finished with an 841 OPS, good for 1 home run and 41 RBIs. Now, you might be thinking, Nick, why are you even talking about this? Why is it sneaky good? Folks, he has no power whatsoever, right? Look at his stolen bases. 83 stolen bases last year. This guy is an absolute speedster who hits for a very, very good average, a very, very good on-base percentage, and he's almost like I don't know if Ben Revere is the right comparison. I mean, there's a lot of Michael Bourne. There's a lot of different guys that you can compare him to. He is like Billy Hamilton, maybe could work, though he seems like a bit of a better hitter, maybe. But again, this is in a very different league, so I don't even want to say that. It's disrespectful to Billy Hamilton. This is a guy who can go out and be, a great, assuming he's pretty good at defense, which again, I haven't watched a ton of tape on him. I think he's a pretty solid defender with that speed. Could be a very good defensive replacement for this team and someone you can bring off the bench and be a pinch runner. 83 steals is absolutely ludicrous and nothing to scoff at. And not only that, he's hit very well the past few years. Back in 2024, he put up a 900 OPS with a 443 on base percentage. Last year, he hit for 352, good for a 428 on base percentage. The slug isn't there at all. He's never going to be an everyday outfielder because of that lack of power. But boy, oh boy, does this guy possess a unique skill set. And again, he's going to be entering his age 25 season. I'm curious if this is someone who's just going to stay down with the Buffalo Bisons in AAA. Is he going to somehow make the MLB team at some point? Maybe when rosters expand in September, whatever it is interesting. And I found an article posted in French about him. Now, the translation is a little bit weird because I just directly translated it for you guys, but it's from a French article saying, for those unfamiliar with the outfielder, he's an extremely fast player. He stole 83 bases in 88 games with the Eagles in 2025. He also hit 352, collecting 127 hits. Great on-base percentage shows that his lack of power is compensated by his ability to get on base and be a constant threat in the base pass for the opposing team. So, the Jays have a ton of outfielders right now. Like, that's obviously, no question. But this could be someone who maybe replaces Jonathan Clase's role down the line as kind of that fourth outfielder. Maybe Miles Straw replaces his role down the line. Now, Miles Straw is obviously one of the best defensive outfielders in baseball. I don't think, it's even fair to put this current player, William, in the, or Matthew, sorry, in the same, voice as him. But when you look at, stolen base prowess, again, it's in a different league. The catchers aren't as good. 83 is unbelievable. It's like a stolen base a game. So let me know if you heard of this guy, what your thoughts are. Again, he's not super young, so it's not someone who you're signing at 18, 19, going to try to, groom him into the system. They probably see some sort of vision, either as AAA depth in the minors or as a potential, roster call-up when the rosters expand a little bit in September. They obviously don't expand as much as they do in the past. But regardless of that, 28 men, whatever it ends up being, I like it. It's a low risk, literally no risk, and fairly high reward move. We could see we think back to 2015, 2016, Dalton Pompey, those stolen bases in the playoffs. Could this be a situation? We'll have to see. And they don't really have a speedster on the team that, a stolen base speedster. So I absolutely love to see it, folks. And this is something that people aren't going to talk about because Max Scherzer got signed, but went under the radar there. Very sneaky move. But not only that, we have some more things to discuss surrounding Max Scherzer. But let me know down below what your thoughts are on the signing. Did you even know it happened? Shout out to Tyson MLB for keeping us up to date on, for tweeting, reporting they signed him. But let's dive into some more Max Scherzer stuff. Now, I covered some of it yesterday. We got some new things from obviously yesterday night into this morning. Blue Jays manager John Schneider says that Max Scherzer has already begun his spring training throwing progression. He's thrown bullpens and pitched to live hitters, and they will work out Scherzer's game progression once he's in camp. He's expected to arrive this weekend. So I briefly covered this yesterday, but folks, it seems like everything's picking up a little bit faster than I guess fans initially expected, because you sign Max Scherzer. Ben Nicholson-Smith is reporting things like he's not going to be ready until potentially May. All these different things. That's still the case. Ben Nicholson-Smith is still reporting that, but there is a world here where where Scherzer's ready a bit before April. But you could see here, keep in mind, one of the main reasons that they signed him is, like this Reddit user says, for the here we go, click the wrong screenshot, for the the dugout presence. Even if his arm was ripped off, dude is worth every penny. Plethora of pitching knowledge. He's going to be, mentoring Trey Savage, a lot of the young guys. And it's good to know that he's kind of ramping up. And Mitch Bannon explained that Max Scherzer, that guy, he's referring to Max Scherzer, was in John Schneider's office literally every single day. And the off-the-field benefits, I've been clamoring about this from the start of the offseason, well before they signed Max Scherzer officially. I was saying just sign the guy, because at this point in time, you have nothing to lose. He can be a mentor for Trey Savage. He can be a mentor for this entire team. And it's no secret and no coincidence that the Toronto Blue Jays went as far as they did with after the year after they signed Max Scherzer. Obviously, Max Scherzer wasn't the primary or even secondary, tertiary, any reason, right? Not any main reason why they made it to the World Series, but he played a big part off the field, right? And his on the field product wasn't always the best. He had a good Game 7, a decent playoff, game in the ALCS against the Mariners, whatever. His off the field presence goes well beyond what you're going to see. And you look at, of course, who they brought in this offseason. You look at all these different things. All of a sudden, this is going to be absolutely critical for the Toronto Blue Jays to have a guy like Max Scherzer around, continue to be that unbelievable presence, and he can kind of help mold guys like Cody Ponce, who are new, Tyler Rogers, even though he's bullpen arm, Dylan Cease, even. I'm sure he's going to take a lot of things from the veteran Max Scherzer. So it's better than we thought, and it's great to see him continue to pump these things out, but also what it means for Eric Lauer. Now, we're cutting a video a few days ago. People were talking about a Lauer trade is now imminent. I saw a lot of you guys in the comments. It's a good point. Like, why would Lauer sit there being complacent when he's been a better pitcher than Scherzer on the field the past year? He went out yesterday, and Eric Lauer didn't have a great game. Now, I don't want to be hyper, specific in this, or hyper analyzing these spring training games, but they matter, right? Eric Lauer went, I think it was 3 earned runs over an inning and a bit. Like, he wasn't great yesterday, and yesterday's game was a little bit of a weird lineup, but we got some good players and things like that. Lauer went 1 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 K. I mean, Mason Flaherty gave up a run. CJ Van Eyck got in there. Braden Fisher got in there. Sorry. Lauer, he's going to have to start performing. I am still standing by this, so we can come back later to see if it ends up happening. I believe that Eric Lauer is going to get traded, folks, and it might not be at the start of the year. They might wait and see what happens. I believe he's going to get moved because I don't think he's super happy.
There are days in this game when the loudest moves aren't the most important ones, and today feels like one of those days. While everyone's still busy replaying the echo of the Max Scherzer signing in their heads, the Toronto Blue Jays quietly slipped something else onto the chessboard. And I'll be honest, it made me smile in that knowing, old baseball writer kind of way. The kind of smile that says, you're thinking 2 steps ahead now. Because buried deep in the transaction log is a name almost nobody is talking about, and that's exactly why it matters. Matthew Valley isn't a headline grabber. He's not a prospect with glossy magazine hype, but what he brings is chaos, pure, old-school, disruptive chaos. 83 stolen bases in a single season isn't a stat, it's a warning label. That's not speed, that's weaponized impatience for opposing pitchers, the kind that makes infielders rush throws and catchers rush prayers. It reminds me of how uncomfortable baseball can look when someone refuses to play at its usual pace. Now let's be clear, this isn't about power. There's no thump here, no highlight reel home runs. This is about on-base ability, relentless pressure, and turning a walk into a triple through sheer audacity. You start squinting and you see flickers of Billy Hamilton, flashes of the Dalton Pompey energy that once made October feel electric. Different leagues, different context, sure, but the instinct is the same. Run until someone stops you. And this is where it connects beautifully with the Scherzer story. While fans fixate on velocity charts and injury timelines, the real gold is in the culture shift. John Schneider has already hinted at how quickly Scherzer is embedding himself, and that veteran presence changes how every fringe player is evaluated. Suddenly, a speed-first outfielder isn't a novelty, he's a situational weapon. That's why we talk about this on the Blue Jays Report, because baseball games are often decided by the quiet moves, the ninth-inning pinch runner, the stolen base nobody planned for. If you enjoy catching those moments before they explode into relevance, do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe. Trust me, this season is already whispering before it starts shouting.